Satan can allow you to have a form of godliness. He can sponsor a form of godliness. We call that religion. One writer said, sin is first religious and secondarily ethical and moral. I said, my God. My God. That form of godliness you will sustain and deny the power. Satan wants you in that shape. So Jesus said, not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, shall, Lord, Lord, they have a form of it. They look like one of us, but they are not ruled by me. They are not governed by me. They don't seek me in any of their decisions. They live as they please, but they still acknowledge me as Lord. It's not enough to acknowledge that he is Lord. How is his lordship worked into the fabric of your life? That's it. How are we working the lordship, the rule, the reign of the Christ in the fabric of our lives? If that's not happening, saying Lord doesn't change anything. If that's not happening, then you have a form of godliness, but you deny the power thereof. So in whom the God of this world, this age, hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. So them which believe not may not necessarily be the most evil people in the world. No. Them which believe not may be very decent people. They could be professionals, but they believe not. Because Satan's primary goal is to keep you from contact with the rule of God. He can accommodate anything else you do with your life as long as Jesus is not the practical ruler of your life. Not acknowledged ruler, practical. He is Lord in practice. If that is not happening, Satan is okay. So lest, you see, he's blinded the minds of them which believe not. This is what made us say some time ago that blind minds are worse than blind eyes. You remember? That if your mind is blind, you are worse off than the guy whose eyes are blind, but minds can see. You see? You see? Because Satan's focus is not for you to lose your physical or optical eyes. That's not his priority. It's for your mind to be blind. And if your mind is blind, it means you are cut off from the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God. That means Satan doesn't want you to see yourself nor hold yourself out as the image and likeness of God with the responsibility to rule or manage a space for him. He doesn't want you to come into that awareness. He doesn't want you to have that knowledge. So what really is the issue here? What's the contention? What was the serpent seeking for in the garden? Serpent being the embodiment of evil, not the animal. The animal was placed in the garden by God. You know? What was it? What did he want in the garden? What did he go for? What was he after? What was he seeking to attack? After he achieved his goal, mankind found that they were naked, that they were afraid. All those things are consequences. That's not a real deal. Satan doesn't mind if you are not afraid, he doesn't care. As long as you are not in touch with the government of God, the rule of God over your life, he can leave you alone. So what's the real deal? This is it. The original concept of God's creative enterprise, the original concept was that as a king, he wanted to expand his kingdom territory. It is implied that the invisible kingdom territory was already set up. But now, God was about to set up a visible kingdom territory. And so, many have settled on the definition for kingdom to be the realm over which God exercises his sovereignty. As a kingdom, the realm over which God, as king, as the sovereign ruler, exercises his sovereignty or royal authority or kingship. The realm. Because we see that he created a visible expanse called the heavens and the earth, the universe, if you would. And when he did that, that wasn't the end of that enterprise. That enterprise ended in him creating a being he called man. And that being was made in his likeness and image. And the design, the reason behind that design was that that man should have dominion. And that's a very interesting word. That dominion is actually God's kingdom. So in God's mind, I am making somebody in my image and likeness to deputize for me in this visible kingdom territory. So that's the complete thought. The complete thought is that there is a territory that has been created, and there is, if you would, a king who has been made to be in charge of that territory. Those are two big ideas which are consistent with God's original intention. So when God sees you, his thought about you hasn't changed. What he wanted is what he wants. He wants a man and a woman in his image and likeness who have the capacity to manage a space, a sphere, a territory, a place, influence a people for him. This has never changed. This will never change. But you see, that's, if we just end the definition of kingdom to just the realm over which God exercises his kingdom authority or royal authority or reign or rule, and the being called man that he has made in that territory, we won't do justice to the definition, and therefore that definition will lack the clarity that can empower us. So the next level then will be to really look critically at this kingdom thing. Is it just a realm? Is it that the people of the realm? And even if you consult dictionaries, you can find some of these thoughts in there. But it goes beyond the realm, no, the people of the realm. The kingdom. Jesus gave a parable one time and said, the kingdom of God is like a man who went out in a far country to receive a kingdom. He left where he was, the territory in which he was, and traveled to go and receive a kingdom. So if the kingdom is just the realm, but he left the realm, so then if he has the realm, then he has the kingdom. Why would you leave the realm if that's the kingdom to go and get a kingdom? So the kingdom is more than the realm. You see? He goes to get a kingdom and then returns. So that kingdom, in that sense, which opens up a lot of the kingdom verses, is that the kingdom is the rule, the reign, the sovereignty, the royal authority, the rank the quality, the attribute of king. In this case, God. So if we are talking about the kingdom of God, I'm saying this because of what we are seeking to do this year. We want to influence culture with kingdom leadership. And so if you don't have a clear understanding of what kingdom is, how do you step out there and say, I want to influence a people for God? The kingdom then, over and above the realm or the people, is the very rule of God. The kingdom is the government of God, the rule of God, the sovereignty of God, the sovereign action of God. The kingdom of God is God's reign. It's God's rule. So that's what in that parable he went for. The kingdom of God is the authority to rule. It's the authority to reign. So he went for the authority to rule and came back to the realm, to the territory. So that authority to rule, that authority to reign, that rule of God, that lordship of God, the sovereignty of God is what we call the kingdom of God, primarily. And then derived from that will be the realm over which that authority is exercised. The realm over which that rule is exercised. The realm over which that royal power is exercised. And derived will also be the people of that realm, the kingdom. But primarily, it's the rule of God.